Hi everybody. I wanted to take a few minutes of your time and just show you what I'm doing with the Zentangle recipe lesson and how I decided to store my stuff. I had this notebook already in my stash, and it's from a company called Simple Stories. You can see here it's embossed on the back of the little book, and the size of it is about 8.5 inches high and about 6.5 inches wide. It's a ring binder, and inside there's 2 D-rings in here so that you can put various pages in. And the company makes various page protectors. They're sold in sets of about 10 usually. And I'll show you different sizes here in just a minute, but I wanted you to see what the packaging looked like. So this stuff is sold on Amazon, and if you decided to, you could go on Amazon and find it if this is something that appeals to you so that you can do your own. So this is what they look like. The kinds of pages that are available are like this. This one is 6 3/16 by 7 by 8 7/16. So it holds basically a full-size sheet when you put it inside the book, like that. This one has 3 by 4. It's 3 inches this way and 4 inches this way. And incidentally, if you take a 6 by 8 recipe card and you fold it in half, then it will fit in some of these. Not necessarily this one, but in some of them. You'll see here as we go along. Okay, this one has 2 of the smaller ones and one that is 6 by 4. And this one has a long strip and 2 4 by 4s in it. This one has 2 4 by 4s and a bunch of little bijou sizes that are 2 by 2. This one has the little bijou sizes at the top and the 3 by 4s in the middle, and there's 2 of them. And this one has 6 by 4 in the middle with the little bijous. This one, these are 3 by 3 sizes, and these are 2 by 2 sizes. So you would have 4 of the little bit bigger ones and 3 of the little ones. And this one is all a full sheet of bijou tiles, and it will hold 12. So while I was going through my stash, I also discovered that I had some other things that will work in here, sort of. I found a bunch of indexes, and they were actually designed for a different binder, but as it turned out, they were the right size for here, so all I did was I punched holes in them. And then on the tabs, I wrote what I wanted in each section. And my sections are a little bit different than what Annie has in her video. So this one is for challenges. And on my pages, because I'm not finished with this, I just stuck things in here for you to see. But this one says Valentangle, and this one says Inktober and 12 Days of Zentangle. Those are all common challenges that have been going on for a while, and I know that I'm going to do at least some of them, but I like to keep track of all the challenges because I go back later and I do the ones that I hadn't finished. And also, because they're clear on both sides, I wanted to show you, I was messing around with drawing hearts and seeing what I could do with hearts for the Valentangle, so I stuck my card in there that I was practicing on. For the next section, I chose techniques, and these are various techniques. They come from various places. So some examples of those would be Tints on Tanned and Delftware. Both of those are classes that I've done, and so I'm going to put my notes from those in here. Then I made a section just for art club, and the reason why I did that is because I've been in art club since the beginning, and I have a lot of the videos in the classes. In addition, I also have a lot of Annie's PDF files. I don't need to see the whole video. I don't need to read the whole PDF. All I need are notes on what I'm supposed to do as kind of like a reminder. So what I did was I made a whole bunch of pages. Each page has one of the recipes has the name of a class basically on it. And so I'm going to go through and make cards for each one. But one of the things I wanted to point out, if you downloaded the PDF that goes with the recipe class, there is a card already made for you in there. And so what I did was I printed it on heavier paper, cardstock, and I cut it out and I folded it in half. When I went to stick it in here, I realized, hey, wait a minute, there's not just 2 sides to this, there's actually 4 sides. So I had already drawn out these little bijou tiles and I had put them in my bijou book because I didn't know a better way to keep all of this organized. So I took the bijou tiles out of my book because I would much rather have them in here, and I glued them down inside of the instructions. And then another one that I wanted to show you real quick is I actually made this tile. I took one of the formats, it's for the tan parchment tile, but because I can open it up inside, I can also put another piece of paper in there. So for this, I stamped all the colors of brown inks that I had on a regular card, and then I sprayed water on them so that I could see what they look like when they blended out. When it dried, I wrote the names of each of the inks on there so that I would have a color reference for later on. So my next section is for collections. And at first I didn't think I was going to use collections for anything, so I was going to leave it out. And then I realized, wait a minute, in my bijou book I have all kinds of collections of stuff. One of them, for example, is collections of various kinds of paper that I tangle on, and what the names of them are, and the brands, what the weight is, what the color name is, and all of that kind of information. And so I actually took them back out of the bijou book again, and I put them in here. So, and along with the title that was on the page. So now I have a better place to store those kind of things. I did do a section on ideas because I have all these little scribbled notes all over the house, all over my studio anyway, that say, you know, I want to try this, or I want to try that, or here's a thought that popped into my head of something to do with a particular tangle. And so I write them down on Post-it notes, and then they get everywhere. And so I'm going to start putting them in here, and I think that way I will be more organized and I'll be able to find them when I actually want to do something with them. Now, I actually made another section, and this one is a little strange to make by itself, but this one is called Blackwork. I just took a piece of black cardstock and I traced around the previous shape like this, and I cut it out and wrote the word on it, and I stuck it in here. The reason why I have a section on blackwork is because I am working on black tiles this year. This is a thing that I decided as a challenge to myself that I wanted to work on. So I have a whole bunch of information about working on black. For example, I have samples of different kinds of paper that I have tried, and on the back I'm going to put down information about how well it worked and things like that. So I have those. I actually tested a lot of different kinds of colored pencils and pastel pencils to find out what was the whitest, what would blend, what I would blend it with, things like that. So I kept track of those, and this is white pens, like gel pens and markers and things like that, to see how well that they worked. And then I'm making recipe cards that tell me what things I use for it. It's a basic recipe for making black tiles. So this is just for black and white. It tells you what steps I used and what products I actually used to create those. So I hope you find this information useful. It may not be the system that works for you, but I thought you might find it interesting. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.